Here's a nice, quick, fairly easy workout for days when you don't have a lot of time but you just want to move. It should take around 20 minutes or so to complete. We're going to start seated on our mats or on your carpet or your towel or whatever you've got in your yard. Cross-legged if you can, and hands on knees. Take a moment to sit up tall and make sure everything's stacked. Head on top of shoulders, ribs on top of hips, right on our sitting bones. Couple of deep breaths in and out. As you breathe in, the ribs expanding in all directions. As you breathe out, feeling the body narrow as the ribs come in, and we pull up from the floor. Big breath in, big breath out. On our next breath out, we're going to tuck the tailbone under, pull the stomach in and look down towards our belly. As we breathe back in, we unravel the straight and then try and open the chest up and look toward the ceiling. We breathe out to curl. Ribs and hips trying to get closer together at the front of the body. Breathing in, lower back stays relatively still. Chest opens and we look up. Exhale, curl. Drawing everything in as we tilt back. Inhale, unravel toward the ceiling. Trying to pull the shoulders back. Exhale, curl forward. Last one. Mobilizing the spine. Inhale. Sit tall. And recover. We're going to unfold the feet and stay seated right on our bottom bones here. Hands can stay on your legs. As we do the same movement here, exhale to tuck and roll the body back. Breathe in to hold this time. Breathe out to curl forward, leading with the head. Breathe in to unravel. Breathe out. Tuck, you can let go with the hands as we start to warm up a little more here. Breathe in and hold. Breathe out to roll. And sit. Exhale, roll back. Inhale, hold, and we're going to stay here. So if this is not a comfortable position for you, come up a little higher, go down a little lower. As long as we're tucked underneath and the bottom is reaching towards the heels, pubic bone is reaching toward the ceiling, we're going to twist. Starting with one hand in front and one hand opening out to the back of our mat. And turn, alternating to the other side. Inhale in the center, exhale, turn. Trying to leave the hips, knees and ankles still as possible. So all the twisting is happening from rib cage up. From hip bones down, we are still. Breathe in to open, out to close. Good, one more to each side. Good. And come back up. I'm going to shuffle forward on my mat so there's room for my head behind me. And this time I'm going to roll all the way to flat, taking my time to get here. Hands are by my sides. Hips, knees and ankles are lined up still. And we've got a nice bend in the knee. Breathe in, prepare, breathe out. Tuck the bottom under. Start to peel the spine off the mat and straighten to a little bridge position here. Breath in, breathe out. We roll back down. Trying to get each bone to the mat equally. And then finding our nice natural curves. Breath in, breathe out. So the stomach initiates and then the legs push. We breathe in. Breathe out. Come down. Take your time. Feels like a nice little massage for the back. Breath in at the bottom, rocking all the way to our flat position, and then breathe out, tuck, and roll. We're going to stay up on this one. Making sure our knees haven't stuck out to the side or caved in. They're holding nice and strong in front of us. Arms are coming up. palms face one another. We're going to breathe in and open them out to the sides. Breathe out and close them back. Breathe in, open. Breathe out, close. So just getting those shoulders nice and loosen up in the joints, stretching your chest open as the arms come, and then sinking the breath and closing them. If you happen to have weights, you can use them for this. If you don't have anything with you, that's fine. Just kind of getting those arms moving nice and smooth in control. If you want a challenge, you can stay up before the next arm movement. If you need a little rest, roll down and then breathe out to roll up and reset. Once we're here, palms are going to stay facing one another if you're comfortable there. One hand lowers to the mat, the other reaches behind our head. We come back up. Then we alternate to the other side. If that doesn't feel great in your shoulder joint, you can face the palms to the floor and do the same thing. Very similar movement. Have a play around, find what works for you. As the one arm reaches behind us, we want to keep our rib connected at the front instead of letting it arch and flare. So if you're tight down the sides of your body, you might find your arm doesn't go all the way to the floor and it stops a little short. That's okay. Just go to where you can. Let's do one more on each arm. And then you have the opportunity to either reset or hold it and wait for the last movement. Stay up as we come down, and then we tuck and roll. Hands are going to be together now. I have my palms facing forward and I've linked my thumbs together to keep my arms nice and close. Keeping an eye that those knees are still right in line with the hips. We're going to breathe in and reach back again, keeping an eye on those ribs. Exhale, we're going to come forward. Breathe in, reach back, overhead. Exhale, come forward. If it's too tight to have the hands together, you can go a little wider. Come forward. Beautiful. Inhale back. Exhale forward. Inhale back. Exhale forward. If you have weights, you might want to clasp the hands together. Palms facing. And forward. Back. And forward. We're going to set the hands down. We're going to shift the feet a little closer so that the feet are right under the knees. And then press up with the heels and down. Up and down. Good work. Up, down. Beautiful. So just little calf raises here. Holding ourselves nice and still. Trying to keep those hips high. They might be starting to drop as you get tired. Leave them up for as long as you can. Beautiful. And we'll do 3 more. 2, 1. And we roll on. Down. Lovely. Hands go out a little wider. So on a 45, we're going to exhale. Lift one leg to tabletop. And then the other follows. We're going to squeeze the knees together and keep the knees and ankles together as we breathe in to tilt, picking one bottom cheek up off the floor. Exhale, bring it back flat. Inhale, tip the other way. Shoulders are going to stay flat to the mat. After we've just gotten them moving, hopefully they feel nice and comfortable in their sockets, nice and flat to the ground. So breath in to tilt the knees away. Chest stays facing upwards. Out to draw them back across. If this is too easy, feel free to straighten the legs. In to come across. Out to come back. In to come across. Out to come back. This time as we come across, the leg that ends up on the bottom is going to extend and we roll. So we end up on our side. My shoulder has lifted up off the mat. I'm going to sweep it over my head and close it by my side. My head's down on the mat, but if you need a cushion or something, feel free to pop it under. I'm going to sweep the arm back overhead so my arms are out in a T and let my chest stretch. I'm going to sweep it around and bring it on back. Open, so there's a big twist through the center of the body as that arm moves around. Beautiful. One more here. I'm going to turn the palm face down. I'm going to slide the other knee in, push my shoulder down and pick my feet back up. Might be on a little angle, I think I am. I'm going to roll to the opposite side, extending the bottom leg. Adjust if needed, and then sweep the arm around. We repeat on the opposite side. Eyes are going to follow your hand as you spin open, and then follow as you spin closed. Beautiful. Deep breaths. Really stretching out the shoulder, the chest, and our middle of our back here. Lovely. Last one. Sweep the arm open. Turn the palm down. Adjust to get that shoulder down. Bottom foot tucks under, and we roll back. Leaving the knees up in tabletop, linking the fingers together behind the head. We're going to do our little chest lift here. So, I'm in my natural curves of my spine, my neutral, but if you prefer to tuck under to a flat back, you can. I'm going to exhale, curl up. Inhale, come down. Exhale, curl up. Inhale, down. That's all it is so far. The eyes lead the movement. We look forward and come down. So still articulating the spine. Going top to bottom. And then reverse bottom to top. Elbows stay in our peripherals. Come up and stay up for this one. We're going to do a little toe tap with one leg at a time. So, opening at the hip joint, the angle in the knee stays the same. We reach away from our body and come in. Reach away and come in. You can either breathe out as the leg lowers and in as the leg lifts, or in as the leg lowers and out as it lifts. Have a play around, find what works for you. I'm going to breathe out as my leg comes back up. Remember to keep your elbows wide. Beautiful. We're going to start turning now. So, my bottom rib is going to turn to my opposite hip on the knee that stays up as the other one lowers. So I'm going to lower my left leg, twist toward my right. Come back in. I'm going to keep my chest up the whole time. Turn and lift. Turn and lift. Good. Exhale. Inhale. Exhale. Inhale. Trying to keep the pelvis steady as we turn the upper body. One more to each side. Head down, tuck the knees in, have a little rest. We're going to come back up in a moment. You can choose to leave the head down if your neck is getting sore, if you need a rest. The legs are going to go straight to the ceiling. If you've got short hamstrings and they can kind of only come to here, that's okay. Or if you need to bend them slightly, whatever works. Hand behind the head, we curl back up. We're just going to lower one leg at a time. Inhale, lower. Exhale, lift. Inhale, lower. Exhale, lift. Beautiful. It's only a few on each leg. And lift. Breathe in. Breathe out. Keeping the belly pulling in. So that feeling of narrowing at the front. A tightening of the muscles between the hip bones. We lower and lift. Lower and lift. Last one on the left. Curl the head, the knees in, and rest your head. Got one more. Double leg lower, so two at the same time. We can either go straight legs or bent legs. I'm going to choose a bent leg variation today. But if you wanted to do it straight, it's the same as what we just did, but with two legs at once. If you're going bent leg, the knees again reach away and come back. What I'm watching out for is that the weight of my legs don't force my back to arch in the middle. So I keep my ribs tucked in, I keep my pelvis still. And I'm working nice and hard to keep my spine stable as my legs reach away and come back in. Again, choose the breathing that works for you. I'm going to breathe in and then out to curl up. In to stretch out to curl up. One more. In and out. Head comes down. Hands are out. From here, we're going to lower the feet, roll onto our side. I've got my head resting on my hand. My top leg is going to stay out of the way, so if you have something to prop the knee, you can. I'm going to hold onto my ankle and extend my leg. From here, my bottom leg is going to lift and lower away from the mat. I'm trying to keep my shoulders and my hips stacked as I breathe out to lift and into lower. Out to lift and into lower. Beautiful. Up, down. You got it. Try and keep it parallel, so kneecap facing forward. Last two. Last one. We're going to take the top leg now and extend it out long. It's going to reach just behind you, not so far that the back arches, but a tiny bit so that there's some tension in the back of the leg. You're then going to bend the knee in, straighten the leg out. Flex the foot as we bring the knee in. Point the toe as you take it back. So it's like a little bent knee variation of the straight leg kick if you're used to that one, but a little less swinging. Point back. Flex forward. Keep that leg at the same height the whole time, so not letting it drop as it straightens. Attempting to keep the torso as still as you can. Good. Last one. And then leaving the leg there, kneecap facing forward, we lift and lower. Good. Lift and lower. Trying to make those legs match up as they come back together. So knees and ankles, something quite common when we lay on our side is that your hip will come up towards you and one leg seems shorter than the other. Push it away. Lengthen the waist at the bottom. Lift lower. Beautiful. And I'm not letting my leg push my pelvis around, but I'm using my core muscles to hold that still while I lift. Beautiful. Turn the leg out so the kneecap's going to angle as far up as it naturally can without us rolling back. And we lift and lower in that position. You'll feel it shift slightly in the muscles of the hip. Good. Just two more. And then from there, I'm just going to sit up, swivel around, and repeat on the other side. So, head resting on the arm. To start with, that top leg is out of the way. Stacking our hips and shoulders. Bottom leg lifts and lowers. Knee facing straight forward. Try and keep that top hip forward. It's pretty easy in this position to roll back. You won't get as much out of it if you're laying sideways on your back, sorry. Couple more. Breathe out to lift, breathe in to lower. Last one. Leave the leg down, press gently into the floor. Top leg's gonna lift. We point the toes ever so slightly behind us. Waist is lifting if we can. Knee bends in, toes point back. Knee bends in, toes point back. And I'm feeling a little wobblier on this side today. So you'll notice that I'm fighting to stay still, possibly unsuccessfully. Good, leg at the same level. Making sure we're taking deep, slow breaths. Two more. I think that's two. I lost count. And we're going to lift and lower from there. So keeping the hips stacked. Good way to check is to pop your own hand on your hip and have a little look down. Adjust if you need to. Remember to keep reaching that foot away from you as you float it up. Beautiful. Knees facing forward for this one. Lovely. It's going to rotate to turn the other way. It's going to lift and lower from there. The angle of that leg changing in the hip socket is going to mean it can lift slightly higher, making sure that we're not kicking too far and adjusting the position of our whole body. You can lift your head up if you'd like to. I'm just trying to check how many minutes we've been going for. Good. Make this your last 2. Last 1. And then we're going to roll face down. Hands under the forehead. Take a moment. Lower back is relaxed. We lengthen the lower back by pressing down with our pubic bone, pulling up with our abdominals. So relax, lengthen. Relax, lengthen. Stay lengthened. Take a breath in, lifting our hands, our head, and our elbows off the mat. Breathing out to lower down, trying to keep those legs down. Breathe in, lift. A lot of work in the upper back and shoulders. Breathe out, lower. Lift, lower. Good. Continue. Inhale to lift, exhale to lower, keeping our lumbar spine nice and long. Last one. Breath in, lift up. Breath out, lower down. Head is going to stay on your hands. Feet are going to come up. So knees bend about mat width to give yourself some space. Flex your feet and glue your heels together. You're going to try and keep the upper back relaxed as we press our feet towards the ceiling and our knees hover off the mat. We're trying to keep our pelvis nice and flat to the mat so that it's not our lower back doing all the heavy lifting, but we're trying to push through the back of the legs and the hips to lift up. Lower down, lift up, lower down, 2 more, and down, up, and down. Beautiful. You're going to parallel the legs, so bring them together, lower one to the floor, point the toes of the one that remains, lift the knee slightly off the floor. You're going to reach the leg away so it's hovering, and then curl in. Reach away, curl in. And you're doing this, trying to create some resistance in your own body. So it feels like maybe there's a beach ball or something between your heel and your bottom, and you're trying to squish it as the heel comes in, and then stretch out. Squish in, stretch out. Good. Last one, in and out. Set the leg down, lift the other leg up. My hips are still pressing down evenly, front and back. Flex the foot in, reach it back out. Pressing down, whatever it is you're imagining is there to create that resistance, or maybe trying to pull the heel towards you like you're on a hamstring curl machine. Whatever helps you create that connection from your mind to your body. 2 more. Flex, point, lower the leg. We're going to pick up our first leg again. Bend the knee, point the toes up to the ceiling, and then allow the hip to roll over and stretch out the body. Roll it back down, set the foot down, switch. Pick the knee up, and then try and tap the toes to the floor. Oh, my back just popped. So that's the idea. We're twisting out our back gently here. If your arms are uncomfortable, you can bring them out in front of you. If you want an extra chest stretch, take it out to the side as I roll this way. My arm is underneath me, stretching out the front of that pec. Come back forward. I'll do one this way so you can see. Leg comes in, up, and over. My body weight is pressing against the long arm behind me to stretch my chest. Good. Bring it back. Knee down, hands under shoulders, and we press back into a rest pose. Beautiful. Couple of nice deep breaths here. I'm going to rock forward onto hands and knees. We're going to do a little hover to finish. So knees tuck, toes tuck under, as we're on our knees. Knees under hips, hands under shoulders. Inhale, prepare. Exhale, hover the knees. Inhale, place them down. Exhale, hover. Inhale, place them down. Exhale, hover. Beautiful. Inhale down. Exhale up. It's just a little lift. Down. Up. This time we're going to hold. We're just going to breathe here. Trying to breathe in nice and deep and slow. Fill the lungs up in all directions and then take your time exhaling. Really pushing firm through the hands so we're not resting on our bones, not sinking down. Good. Last breath in. Last breath out. Knees come down. Beautiful. We're going to pop back up onto our knees one more time and step our feet back. I want you to move one hand into the center and then roll the feet to the side. Lift the arm up. Have a little stretch over. Come back. First hand back on the floor. Switch. Hand in the center. Roll the feet. Little stretch to the side. Come back. Hands are back under our shoulders. We're going to press our hips towards the ceiling and stretch out the shoulders here. Bend the knees if you need to. If you have the flexibility, feel free to get those heels down to the floor. I'm not quite there yet. Come back into your plank. Press back into the pike. Nice big stretch through the back of the body. Come back into your plank. Press back into the pike. If this is too tough, come down to your knees and then pop up and rest. Pop up and rest. Sit back down on the feet and you're in your rest pose. Good, breath in, breathe out, start to peel the body back up off the mat, and you're done. Thanks for joining me.